Thanks a lot for joining us, Mel. Take care.
Bye-bye.
You talk about Hollywood. I mean, where is it really? I mean, it's kind of, there's a sign up there on the hill, but it doesn't really exist.
Every time the media thinks they've cornered Mel Gibson, he hands them back their own script, rewritten and smoking hot. Every single interview turns into the same plot twist. Mel answering the question they should have asked, not the trap they laid. Now let's start with this dumb host who tried forcing answers from Mel's throat, even when he didn't feel like attending to her double-edged question.
Well, it's hard to imagine anybody going through what that character went through. I can't even begin to conceive of what he went through. And what you did was to establish this war milieu that was so horrific. I've never seen anything quite as devastating in my life on film.
Really? No.
You don't think so?
The host practically dares Mel by asking why the war scenes are so brutal, like she's shocked he would show war as war.
Because you think about Saving Private Ryan, right? That extraordinary D-Day sequence where you do see all these young men getting off the boats and then getting mowed down, which is one of the great battle sequences of all time. This is more horrifying because it's that cliff. Describe what was the reality of that cliff and how did you approximate it? How did you rebuild it and make it real?
He answers with the calm of a man who's survived enough media storms to qualify as weatherproof.
Well, I wanted to make it pretty bad.
Yeah, you did.
But for a few reasons, I wanted people to appreciate and empathize with what our veterans have to put up with, and a lot of the guys who saw, particularly the Okinawa guys, we showed it to at the War Museum. 92-year-old guys in wheelchairs were like, "That's it. That's what it was like." And I'm like, "Whoa, really?" Because even I thought maybe I was overdoing it. They said, you weren't. It was really kind of fire and bullets and rain and mud and shit.
Reporters often claim he glorifies violence, but Mel shuts that down instantly.
How long did that take, doing the entire war scene?
Mel,
it must have been, because there's so many details. There's just so many details.
It's a real testament to Mel and what he's able to achieve, because he had half of the time and half of the budget that he had on Braveheart.
Outsmarting the press might as well be Mel's superpower, because the moment that reporter tried the "why not an English ambush," he flipped it with ancient history facts she didn't even know she needed.
I mean, the other thing you did, the other film in another language, obviously you mentioned The Passion of the Christ. I mean, if you're going to choose a film also not in English, but then you're going to choose a subject matter that everyone is very strongly opinionated on as well.
Yeah.
That was a brave move too.
Yeah, well, it's like, I just followed the book, basically. I mean, it was said that I didn't, that I made it up. I mean, I didn't. I mean, I read the book and it was in there like that. So I just kind of did what was straight ahead. I mean, I enhanced it with my own imagery.
And just when you think he's done handing out academic spankings,
The power of that film was that it was in another language. Because somebody asked me a question earlier about when did you want to be a director? When I was 17, I wanted to be a director, but I didn't really quite understand how. I was in high school and I was studying the English language and I was looking at where it came from, and it was some kind of low guttural German or Old Norse or something. And I thought, that's really cool. Imagine Vikings coming up to your shore to chop up your town and take all your stuff and kidnap your wife, and that sounded like a good idea.
only Mel could make one of the most controversial films ever, then make it harder to understand on purpose. So when Stephen Colbert tried to guilt-trip him, Mel simply returned the favor, gift-wrapped and delivered with that mischievous grin.
Now, you're a Catholic and I'm a Catholic, and one of the tenets of the faith that I was taught is that suffering is a good thing.
Yeah.
Did you, I'm honest to God, do you think there's any value to the suffering? Because you went through some suffering over the last 10 years, I imagine,
Everybody
for
suffers
sort
a
of
little
being
bit.
like a pariah in some circles for what you did. Is there any value? Did you learn anything from that, and did you become a better man in any way?
Yeah, gravel rash suffering. Well, less time on the meat rack after it's all done, right?
I don't know what that means.
And if you think Mel only sharpened with age, you haven't seen him in Cannes. 1983.
Do you think that actors have some responsibility? I mean, by the image they give of humanity. You understand what I mean?
A poetic question for sure, but Mel knew a trap when he heard one.
What a funny question. I don't know how to answer that. I don't think I can. I think it's a silly question. I'm sorry.
No.
He stared back like Mad Max listening to a tofu-ordering biker.
You find some cynism by them, opportunity, or impulse to become themselves famous, to put themselves on the first stage at the first place.
What?
The reporter tried going deep, and Mel just let the question crash on its own. Decades later, the media still didn't get the memo.
Do you feel like you're a different person, maybe a better person than you were 5 years ago, 4 years ago? I mean, everything that we've read about, you've gone through a lot of ups and downs in the past few years.
Richards came in a little proud and walked out totally smoked.
Do you think that the public will perceive you any differently after all that's been in the news about you?
Passive-aggressive jabs don't work on a man who's played saints and psychos in one breath.
4 or 5 years, yeah. It's a real roller coaster ride. You know, I think I'm the same person I always was, except for people as they go. Time teaches, and you learn as you go. So, hey, what are you referring to specifically?
Referring to the drinking problems, referring to what's been called the anti-Semitic rant, referring all those things. You know what I'm talking about.
He tried a fake, deep question. Mel sniffed out the con in seconds.
Okay, so that's almost 4 years ago, dude. I mean, I've moved on. I guess you haven't.
Well,
So
I'm just wondering if you think that the public has moved on and will perceive you in the same light.
Well, I certainly hope so. You know, it is a while back, and I've done all the necessary mea culpas. So, let's move on, dude. Come on.
Edge of Darkness opens today. It's good to see you back in the saddle and doing what you do best.
Richards brought up Gibson's past scandals, specifically his DUI arrest and leaked audio tapes, while Gibson was just trying to promote his new movie. And immediately after the session ended, Gibson said,
Thanks a lot for joining us, Mel. Take care.
Bye-bye. Asshole.
And the next time the press would try something like that, Mel torched it with a flamethrower.
What's it like being back here now for Hacksaw Ridge? I mean, it's such an
great.
incredible film, and do you feel like you're getting embraced?
Sometimes the media doesn't just ask questions. They're clearly poking at past controversies.
What was the appeal of Desmond Doss's story that made you want to be the one behind the camera to direct it?
These ladies came sniffing for a scandal. Mel served them storytelling and serenity, with Vegas odds and a smirk.
You know, I looked at that story and it was like really the pinnacle of heroism.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't, a man who wouldn't bear arms and would go headlong and be the bravest in the midst of a hellish conflict and run headlong into something where he didn't have anything to defend himself and do it for the sake of his brothers. I mean, wow, what a remarkable story.
While they expected a redemption arc, he gave them a masterclass in not caring what act you think he's in. But make no mistake, because he was just getting started.
Everyone keeps raving about this movie, and it's like your huge comeback. How do you feel about that? Everyone's calling it your big comeback. Do you feel that way too?
The reporter tried to paint Hacksaw Ridge as Mel's big Hollywood return, like he'd been hiding under a rock waiting for permission all along.
Well, I haven't directed in 10 years, so I guess, in a sense, it is a comeback, but which is nice because it meant I had somewhere to come back from and something to aspire to. So that's nice.
What do you feel about all the great reviews that you're getting?
Hey, who doesn't want great reviews?
Yeah.
It's better than people going, It's it seems to resonate, and that I'm gratified by that. So,
And being back in Hollywood, in the Hollywood kind of game, is that...
Well,
good?
it's not really Hollywood. I mean, this is a made-in-Australia film. In fact, very few films are made here anymore. You talk about Hollywood. I mean, where is it really? I mean, it's kind of, there's a sign up there on the hill, but it doesn't really exist. It's this kind of nebulous thing that people apply to anything. This is an independent film.
But Mel didn't return anywhere. He just mailed Hollywood a masterpiece from Australia and said, "Here, hold this."
A world away, upside down at the bottom of the earth in the Antipodes, you know, and, you know, we bring back the bacon here, I guess, so I guess everything goes through a kind of a filter here. It's like a kidney. Hollywood's like a kidney.
Even Andrew Garfield knows the man's career has tougher bones than a kidney stone.
I think there's a great yearning in me, and I believe in everybody for a life of to live a life in faith, and with spirit. So, I mean, me and Mel were just talking about it. It's a remarkable story, I think, especially in the modern world we're in, where the foundation of our existence doesn't have much to do with spirituality.
But that's nothing compared to this.
When people see you, I mean, they know you're Mel Gibson, but is there a part that like a young person, a teenager, or maybe a kid sees and says, you know, you're in what movie? Is it the obvious choice of Lethal Weapon that you're most known for?
I guess so. Yeah, I made more of them than anything else, so.
Mm-hmm. Is that okay, though? I mean, because I know actors don't like to be put in a type thing. I mean, that's my favorite thing you do, but...
Yeah, no one does, you know. No one likes to be pigeonholed. No one likes to think, it goes against the ego to think that you can be so easily pigeonholed by someone else. One likes to think that they're not so easy to put the make on.
Jimmy Carter tried sliding in a soft insult, asking if it annoys Mel to be known mainly for Lethal Weapon.
But you showed them in Hamlet that you could do a lot more than just shoot a gun.
That's like asking a chef if he does anything besides cooking. It's subtle disrespect disguised as small talk. And if you still didn't get that, listen to how Gibson outsmarted Jimmy with his razor-sharp reply.
I mean, I've read that play for years, and it's always intrigued me, and there was a lot more required than usual, I think, especially in film. It's not a real filmic thing to do.
Most actors get annoyed because it bruises their ego to be pigeonholed. But Mel's too grounded and probably too amused to care.
Do you sit around like once a year with your friends or who you work with and family maybe and try to decide what you're going to do, like what's your next step career-wise, or you just kind of go, okay, I'm going to do something, and it just happens?
Yeah, it's more
throw it
like
up against the wall and whatever sticks.
Yep, and I don't usually debate it with too many people. It's just...
You've done pretty good. Your instincts must be pretty hot on that.
Well, I just follow my nose. You know, you got to do what you enjoy, and you have to go where you feel you should.
But that doesn't even come close to when the media tried its usual playbook, trying to compare Mel with another younger actor to see if Mel will bite.
When you watch, when you see someone like Shia LaBeouf out there, sort of raging and going nuts, what do you think are some of the real issues that young actors contend with, and actors in general, and it's not just young ones? I mean, I remember talking to you a long time ago, and I got from you a sense that you never took anything for granted.
Both Shia LaBeouf and Mel have dealt with public scandals, and both converted to Catholicism. But the way the interviewer asked her question was suspicious.
You know, you were always as good as your last picture.
Yeah, that's about it.
And it's tough.
But instead of taking the bait, Mel Gibson pulls out a scalpel and performs psychological surgery on the entire industry.
You know, it's pretty bad. And like when I see somebody like Shia LaBeouf with the bag on his head and stuff, like my heart goes out to the poor guy.
I bet it does.
No, it does, because I think he's suffering in some way. Or why would he do that? You know? And people are inclined to sort of point the finger at him and say, like, well, he's, you know, this or that or the other, and it's easy to judge. But I'm sure he's gone through some kind of personal, kind of very painful, cathartic thing that he has to exercise and get out there, and he'll probably, you know, play it out and come back. You know, whatever it happens to be, he'll be all right. I actually like the kid. I think he's good. I never met him. I like him.
He's a good actor. He's a very good actor.
Mel doesn't just defend Shia, he justifies him. But that's nothing compared to how he handled Stephen Colbert.
I sat next to George and Tom Hardy when we watched it in L.A., and it was visually spectacular, great edit.
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
face.
I mean, your films are pretty good too. I'm not saying it's better than your film. I'm just saying that this film, they took what the trailer is and just made it 2 hours long. Now, you've got another film coming up, I hear, but it probably haven't started yet, called The Resurrection. It's a sequel to The Passion of the Christ. Is that true?
It's probably about 3 years off because it's a big subject.
Yeah, I've read the book.
Yeah.
I know how it ends. I know how it ends.
You know how it begins?
Yeah.
Stephen Colbert tried to slip in a smooth gotcha question, asking it like he was about to score a theological knockout.
How do you tell the story of the resurrection? Because there's not as much, and I don't mean this to say this in a flippant way, but there isn't action. I mean, every Good Friday, we act out the Passion. You know the story, you know the parts, you're waiting for, various people to come on. But how do you tell the story of the resurrection? It's a single event and then a revelation to the people in the upper room.
Well, it's more than a single event, it's an amazing event, and to underpin that with the things that around it is really the story, to sort of enlighten what that means.
Mel didn't blink. He simply spun the whole thing back with the confidence of a man who once directed literal angels and demons on set. Then came the Wildfire interview, and this one carried real weight.
When you drove up to the beautiful room people will see in just a moment where we conducted this interview, when you saw your neighborhood, when you saw your entire community, what did you imagine or think at that time?
Well, first, I thought it was just, oh, gee, bad luck, tragedy. But then I think I came to realize that it was monumental mismanagement by our elected officials. And
fresh from watching his home turn to ash, Mel didn't mope or reach for pity. He reached for the government's neck.
And I mean, look what they've done so far to this town, I mean, you got nothing but rampant crime, acute homelessness, high taxes, mismanagement of water, firefighters, defunding the department, and we're supposed to trust them with millions of dollars to sort of remake where we live. It's our city. It's the city of the people. And they have another plan. And, he's saying, build back better. This concept that's got whiskers on it. Everybody says it. And have you ever seen government build back better? I mean, there's still people from the Woolsey Fire living in trailers and stuff, okay?
In under a minute, he roasted political excuses so cleanly, you could almost smell the smoke again.
Is that what you and your neighbors want right now?
Well, as a citizen here, Newsom and Bass, they want us to trust them to reimagine the city, our city, in how they think it should be.
Where most people offered blueprints and photo ops, Mel delivered a monologue equal part survival story and courtroom closing argument.
When have you seen the government build back better?
Very
It's
rarely.
just social engineering, environmental regulation, and spending. That's the last thing any of us who've been burned out need are a bunch of bureaucrats telling us how to rebuild our communities. I just think it's at the very least, it's insensitive.